Welcome to the Breakthrough Mastermind podcast. I'm your host, Jen Argue, and I facilitate masterminds for women entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses to help others and create financial independence. All right, today we have on the show Kate Boyle. She is passionate about holistic health and great movement. She owns and operates Mind and Movement, a Pilates and Wellness studio in Melbourne, Australia. Having been an elite level dancer, she gravitated to a career in health due to her love of movement and wanting to get a better understanding of nutrition to improve overall health and performance. She has extensive training and qualifications in Pilates and various other movement modalities, including the gyrotonic expansion system and classical ballet. A qualified nutritionist and food scientist, Kate has worked with the health and nutrition field for more than 16 years and is passionate about helping women move well, eliminate pain, live a balanced life, and make being healthy easy. In all caps, easy.
Yeah, exactly. As simple as possible, really.
I love it. I'm so glad to have you here. And I should just mention too, Kate has been in my mastermind for 2 years, which is really significant when you think about the past 2 years was you joined right before the pandemic started and stayed in through the whole pandemic and even this past year, which is basically an extension of the pandemic life, right?
It definitely has been here in Australia anyway.
Yeah, right. In Australia, like Melbourne, which is what do you call it?
The number one lockdown city in the world. So we had a lot of lockdowns over the last couple of years, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know it's been just a wonderful experience to be able to walk with women entrepreneurs through that time. And it's been an interesting time. Some businesses like really took off. Some were more like ready to take off and then struggled, and some were just in between. So I love doing these interviews during this time because I think there are different people that can relate to different experiences and they're all good. And I think what I admire so much about you, Kate, and your business is how much you were able to grow it through this time and how much you really built your business. If people could see what your business looked like when you first committed to the mastermind at the end of 2019 to now, it is mind blowing all the things that you've done with it. So I am so excited to interview you today. And one of the things I like to start off with is acknowledging that for a lot of women entrepreneurs, they don't often start off as an entrepreneur. Maybe some do. And I'm curious about your own story. How did you get to the place where you are now?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for those kind words. And thanks for having me on the show too. But yes, I guess a lot like a lot of other women, I didn't choose to be an entrepreneur. I think I kind of fell into it, just in the sense that when I was at university, I was a subcontractor. So I was teaching dance. I got offered to teach dance in primary schools. And so I was kind of doing all these little odd jobs. And I had some other part-time work where I was working for businesses and had bad bosses. They just didn't treat staff very well. And those early experiences really led me to go, I don't want to work in an environment like that. Even when I finished my nutrition degree at university and I got my full-time job as a nutritionist, I was working for a small family-owned company. The boss was not very nice. The rules were really strict. There was a lot of turnover with staff. And I guess those sort of early years kind of just made me go, I don't want to work in an environment like this. And I want to create an environment where people are happy to come to work and where I can combine all my knowledge and sort of modalities and offer something that maybe isn't out there. So I'd done a little bit of subcontracting, I'd done the full-time work, and I sort of found that I wasn't fulfilled in what I was doing. So I just went, well, let's just sort of start something that might be a little bit different, but I know it's what I want to do and also will give me more time freedom. So at that time, I opened my own studio back in 2009, and, my studio is from home. At that time, that was, there weren't a lot of people working from home, but I knew that I'd been traveling an hour to work each day for a number of years, and that commute was really long. So I was trying to create that business from the start of what was really going to serve me and the lifestyle that I wanted to lead. So that's kind of how I came into, building my own business. And then, as you said, through the last couple of years, I think I was really lucky being part of the mastermind, because I joined before the world kind of went into chaos, and I knew I wanted to do some more things online, but having that support from the mastermind is what really helped me to start moving my sort of brick and mortar business into the online world more, and have other avenue streams, which, I know a lot of people kind of got thrown into with, everything happening the last couple of years.
Oh my gosh. And I get the goosebumps like thinking about your journey, because you started off, when we talked at the end of 2019, that you wanted to take your Pilates business online to serve more people and to have a little bit more, expansion in your business. And to think about, you were ready for the lockdown. You
Yeah.
had already, by the time, in those few months that you started in the mastermind, you really got it together fast, and you established your online membership before it happened. Like, it was like perfect timing, or right as it happened, right?
Yeah, I think because I'd already had the intention and I'd already started creating content for it, it was kind of, do you know what I mean, a natural transition for what happened. So it was just, I guess, some of it was luck, some of it was seeing that the industry was already moving online. There were signs of it. Do you know what I mean? People are living much busier lifestyles now. And if we can make things simple and easy, I had clients that were coming to me in the studio, they'd move away and they'd be like, well, how else can I still work with you because I'm not in the local area anymore? Or I had other clients that were coming once or twice a week, but they still wanted to do other things at home. So it seemed like a natural progression. And I guess timing wise, it kind of just at that point worked out for what happened.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was super excited for you with that, how it worked out for you in the sense of, you couldn't have people coming into your studio anymore in person, but you could still serve them. And you were already set up to do that. So that was a beautiful progression for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love to focus on the behind the scenes of growing a business and highlighting what really contributes to your the biggest elements of your business growth. So when we look at skills in business, there are soft skills and hard skills. And I always like to ask first, what soft skill really helped you the most with your business growth?
I found these are hard for me to think about, but I guess one of the main ones that when I was really thinking about it is when I was creating my business, I was really thinking about the customer in mind and myself as a customer, what I really wanted if I was going to a studio, or what I wanted out of that service. And so that's really when I started building my business, I built it with what I would want if I was the customer. Did I want good follow-up? Did I want really good attention when it was coming to, talking on the phone to book an appointment, and, what that involved, and being really clear with instructions and guiding people through. So I think that's always, played a big thing of keeping the customer in mind and what I would have wanted. And I think that's come through. So many of my clients have often said, that they love the attention to detail that we give throughout the studio, and even, asking from feedback for them and really treating them as an individual rather than just a whole load of people. So I'd say as a soft skill, that's probably one of the biggest things that has had one of the biggest flow on effects, especially when it comes to referrals, and even other physicians sort of within the health realm referring to us, because people talk. So our clients go out and they talk to their osteopath or their doctor, and then we get a call from them or their friends. And so that has been one of the biggest things in growing the business.
That's amazing. I love how it's like empathy, right? Like, you put yourself in your customer's shoes and asked, like, well, what would I want and how can I provide that for them? And you took it to the next level. I think when you provide service like that, and like you're saying, word of mouth starts to, generate more business for you because people are catching on to how you're serving them. You're actually making other people look good by referring your business to others. Because they'll
Yeah.
make the referral and people will be like, wow, this was a great referral, and it makes them look good too. So that's a really great soft skill.
Yeah. And I think, look, it's like any business. I started really small. So, maybe there was more in-person attention to detail at that time. But as we've sort of expanded and we have, say 150 clients in studio now, we introduced online booking, which, started to come in a number of years ago. And that sort of streamlined the process and made it easier for them to be able to book in a class or cancel a class. So we've kind of kept up to date. And then also as the business has grown, we've still tried to keep that attention to detail, but tried to be smart about how we've done it as well.
Yeah. And I love how your attention to detail is so good. I mean, I've seen it as you've participated in the mastermind, just how particular you are with everything that you do. You really put your best into everything. And it's noticeable. So I can imagine like all of your customers experience that about you as well. So as we think about the hard skills of what has helped you grow your business, what would you say that would be?
For me, it's been continually progressing with my education and learning the new skills that I've needed to expand. So I think that can be a really big block. So whether or not it was, I originally did my Pilates course and then doing further courses and specializing in prenatal and postnatal and then neurological conditions. But then on the business side of it, doing things like joining the mastermind or doing a course and learning about Facebook ads. So I think just really having that passion to learn, but then following through and instigating on that and building that has been a really big thing to help with the business as well.
With what you're doing, there is seems like a lot of learning involved with
Yeah.
staying on top of your.
I'm laughing because moving into the online realm, it did feel overwhelming at the start. You're learning lots of different tech things. You're diving into, say, Facebook ads and building email lists. And when you're a brick and mortar business, if you've got a really good referral base, we hadn't delved so much into that sort of stuff yet. So it was a steep learning curve, but it was a really good one at the same time.
I know there seems to be so many. Which do you think out of all the things that you really dove into to learn for the online marketing part really helped propel your growth the most?
The email list. So you hear it over and over again. Like they always say, you have to pay to play on all these other platforms, but your email list is what will grow your business. And hands down, that's been the biggest difference for me, even just with my regular clients. So a few years ago, I started a weekly newsletter for them. And even throughout, when the times we've been closed over the last couple of years, when they've come back in, they've just sort of said, it was really nice to get your weekly email, to give us ideas. It kept us motivated. Just that alone for in studio has been amazing. But then online as well, building that audience and gaining trust through people because you are sharing information or humor or whatever it may be with them is definitely, I'd say, the biggest sort of game changer when it comes to online business.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. And I love that you're highlighting that and that you shared how your existing customers felt about getting those emails. I think we sometimes forget that some people actually look forward to our emails.
Yeah, I know. It can sometimes feel a bit strange when you're typing away that email. And, a lot of the time throughout when we were closed, I'd be like, oh, well, you'd get the occasional email back saying, yep, this is great. I'm going to add this into my weekly routine or whatever it may be. But it was actually, I was very surprised when we were back in studio, the amount of clients that said to me, thank you so much. I looked forward to receiving that, whether or not it was a new recipe to try or, an exercise that I could do because, I was getting really tight with my upper back and neck. They just said that they really appreciated the effort and time and just receiving that touching base from me each week was special to them. So that was really lovely to hear.
And I think that really emphasizes too that your business is a personal brand, that they grow close to you. They want that connection to you. And the email is just a small way to give value to them that they feel in response, like excited about getting that and telling you about it too.
Yeah. And, it's not, in the grand scheme of your week, time wise, we all write lots of emails every day. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be filled with, 10 different pieces of information. It can just be a really quick win. But I do think that it's just a very beneficial thing to add in. It has been for my business anyway.
Excellent point. I love that. So I have a question for you that I did not prep you for. But one of the things about being an entrepreneur is that typically we like to work, right? And we would rather work than play because our work is like play, right? So many, I think, of us say that. How do you feed your soul or keep your sanity, or what do you do to kind of, you know, step away from the work and step into your more personal life and your humanness? What keeps you alive? What do you do for that?
Well, I have a few things, but I definitely agree that, yeah, as an entrepreneur, I think if you are an entrepreneur, you love what you do. So work doesn't feel like work and you are passionate about it. So
Yeah.
you could keep going. Well, I know I could keep going. Do you know what I mean? If there wasn't time restraints with other things in life, I could just keep going all the time. So I think that is one of the things that, a lot of entrepreneurs can battle with, and try to find that balance can be really difficult. So for me, it's really prioritizing my exercise, starting off my day. I'm one of those people that if I don't fit my exercise in the morning, I will get carried away with work and then kids and family, and it's really hard. So for me, it's making sure that I'm doing that each morning and taking that time to fit that in and build that into my schedule. I'm really prioritizing that. But also it's making sure that on the weekends that I have some downtime and some time out. So, I have things that I like doing, whether or not it's going into the studio and doing some Pilates or reading a really good book. You'll often, if there's sunlight, just a patch of sunlight, just 5 minutes, I'll go off and just lie down in a patch of sunlight. Like my husband always jokes that I was a lizard in my, past life because I'm drawn to the sun and that warmth. So just small things. I think that's the other thing. A lot of people try to think that self-care needs to be a really big thing and we need to book in massages and facials and, that's all fantastic. But, sometimes we don't have maybe the time or the money or whatever it may be for that. So I think it's just building small things into your everyday that really make the difference.
And here you are in your time off and in the time that you are using to feed your soul, you're doing Pilates. That says a lot.
Yeah, I just love it. I love how I feel after I do it. For me, it's my form of meditation. So, sometimes I will meditate and I will, sit in that patch of sunlight and I'll close my eyes and I'll do some breath work. But for me, going into the studio, putting some music on, dropping right into my body, thinking, how do I feel at this point right now? What's sore? What's tight? What can I work on? And being really present in my body for that period of time is a form of meditation. And so that's how I really tend to unwind, which is what drew me to Pilates in the first place. And I guess one of the main reasons why I'm so passionate in sharing it with women, because it, not only helps you build tone and look great, which we all want, but just as a stress relief, as a being present in time, it kind of puts all those modalities together, which is really beneficial for mind and body.
I think it's a gift. I think it's a gift that you're truly doing what you love and you're not getting tired of it. It seems to just continue to feed you and push you forward to want to get that message out to others, that it's such a great way to take care of yourself. I will mention too that what I've heard from you over the years is that you have an incredible gift when it comes to helping people recover from pain. When people are experiencing pain in their bodies, you have a real gift to help them identify where it's coming from and how to treat it. And I just wanted to tell you that I always admire that about you, that your gifts go deep. It's like you are helping people with the ability to relax, get focused, get in touch with themselves, in a mindset and with a, moving your body type of way, but you even go deeper with the healing aspect. And I just think I wanted to say that, that you are really gifted with that. And I appreciate that you bring that to people.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I guess it's one of those things when you are working with people around pain, it's really personal. It could be a pain that people have had for a long period of time, or the pain they're feeling. It's, even though it may be physical pain, it may be stemming from something emotional, something that may have happened previously, and it manifests in the body. So I think it's one of those things you've always got to meet people where they're at, reassure them and support them, identify and sort of relate with them that yes, this pain is real. Because a lot of time, people often say they see practitioners and they might say, oh, it's really not that bad, or some of it's in your head, but whether or not it is emotional or physical, the pain is real. And so I guess I really do, having myself been through lots of injuries and lots of pain over the years through dance and having to rehab myself, I think having that experience really does help with empathy. And if you can bring that empathy when you're working with somebody, you're going to get better results because you're going to build that level of trust. And I think until you have that trust, you're really not going to make that progress. And so that's something that I'm, always trying to bring to the table and work with someone, because once we build that trust, then the progress and the results I see just skyrockets.
It's amazing. And I think those are great words to end with, because I think they apply to everybody's business. That when you can meet people where they're at, have empathy with them and what they're going through, that trust just starts to skyrocket, and it makes the transformation come so much more easily and so much faster. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for being on the show. And where can people go to hang out with you and learn more about the things that you do?
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a great chat, and I always love chatting about these topics, so I can always go on and on. But people can reach me at my website at mindmovementhealth.com.au. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at mindmovementhealth. And if people want to try a Pilates workout with me, Jen's going to link it up in the show notes. But I have a 15-minute core workout, which everybody can do. And then I've also recently put a quiz together, determine your health type, which is a bit of fun just to, sort of see what your health type is and give you some easy ways to get some quicker results.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much. And like you said, we'll link those up in the show notes. I'm so grateful we had Kate on the show today. All the links for the resources she listed will be in the show notes. And if you are looking for more support, challenge, and inspiration in running your online business, I would love to have you apply to my mastermind. Check it out at jenargue.com.